Welcome to your Yin Yoga practice. My name's Emily Brahms Jacobs, and today we're going to take a look at our spine. All of the movements, the poses today are going to be fairly simple. This is going to be a quick-ish yoga practice, really just to get the spine in all directions, stretch out, and feel a bit of grounding and calming energy coming through. So today I have 2 blocks and a blanket that I'm sitting on. We're going to get started on our backs. Grab what you need. You can press pause and then meet me on the mat. I'm going to set my blocks out in front of me so they're there, and grab a little blanket for my head. So meet me on your back and we'll begin. So just taking a couple of minutes here at the beginning of our practice just to make sure that the head and neck are supported. The very top of our spine at the neck wants to be supported. The head is always usually pretty heavy and the chin can sometimes lift if we don't have something underneath it. So softening the front of the neck, the throat, lengthening the back of the neck. And then you can let your hands rest to the ground. The feet can be to the ground or your legs can be straight. I'm choosing today to have my legs bent to begin in a constructive rest pose and do what feels best for you. If you do decide to take the constructive rest, let your feet be slightly wider than your hips and your knees resting against one another. And we'll begin right here with a couple of grounding breaths. So as you're ready, perhaps closing the eyes softly, and take a breath together in through the nose. A nice full sigh out the mouth. And another nice breath in through the nose. And sigh it out. And one more time, breathing in. And sigh it out. We'll stay here for a few more breaths just to really land and ground in our practice, perhaps setting an intention for your practice. Whatever comes easy and naturally, set an intention to practice today. Mine is to remain calm and balanced. And start to watch your breath coming in and out of the nose. With each exhale, feeling these little layers of the body softening, the eyes, around the eyes, the jaw, the tongue, the throat. Shoulders, the belly, the hips. And feel your legs beginning to relax, your feet landing. And for the next few breaths, you might imagine sort of the circular orbit of breath. And we'll use the breath and the spine here. So as you breathe in, imagine breathing in and down to the very tailbone. And then as you exhale, imagine the breath moving up the front of the body, which might be sort of counterintuitive. Inhaling down the spine toward the tailbone. Exhale up the front body. Just see how that feels. If it's a little uncomfortable at first, like I said, maybe a little counterintuitive, This is really just to get your brain present, your mind here, following the breath. So inhaling down the spine, exhaling up the front body, making this circular orbit around your back and front body here as you breathe. And before not too long, it'll start to become natural, or at least a little easier. And on your next breath, go ahead and pull the right knee in. Stay with this circular breathing as we start to move. Pulling the left knee in, coming into Uppanasana pose. Your knees can come together, your feet can be together as you bring your hands towards your shin. And you can rock a little side to side here. Maybe finding a little bit of stillness as you explore, imagine, feel into the length of your spine on your mat. From the top of your head, the back of your head, down, down, down the spine to the tailbone. Maybe inhaling. And as you exhale up the front body, releasing your belly, maybe knees go a little wider and come in a little deeper. Your knees can go as wide as you wish here, getting into the hips but keeping the length of the spine, the whole spine, the lower back to the mat, the middle back, upper back. And slide your hands towards your ankles, reaching for the outer edges of your feet, sending the tops or the soles of your feet rather to the ceiling, knees bend wide, coming into happy baby. We'll be here for another minute and a half. A little rocking from side to side is nice in this posture if your body wants to move. You can take that. Or you can simply find stillness. Our yin practice allows us to slow down and really check in with the mind and body. The mind might be saying one thing and the body might be saying another. And in our yin practice, we're looking to find balance and harmony within. Simply by listening to ourselves, we can find that ease, that balance. Last few breaths here in your happy baby. Try lengthening your tailbone if you are finding stillness, lengthening the tip of the tailbone to the ground, finding the whole sacrum on the ground. Last 3 breaths. And then releasing the feet, drawing the knees together. Let's take the knees over, the arms out wide or into cactus arms, bent elbow, and the knees will come over to the left. So real easy twist here. If this is not easy for you, you can always stagger your legs. This becomes a little bit of a softer twist. Or placing a block or pillow in between the legs as well is nice here. The left hand can gently land on top of the right knee and perhaps take your gaze on over to the right. Circular breathing here down the spine as you breathe in. Exhale up the front body. Softening any tension, removing the blanket if it's not supporting your neck here. In our yin practice, there's oftentimes a lot of silence within the stillness. And for many of us, it's completely different from how we live our day-to-day. So the practice of yin can bring up a lot. So notice maybe what's coming through the mind. Notice any sensation in the body. There's a lot of space to notice what you're noticing. And not necessarily to judge it, but to simply become aware of it. Become aware of what's present for you as we take about another 30 seconds in this posture on this side. And then as you're ready, inhaling, taking yourself back to center. And then exhale, drop your knees over to the other side. Nice and slow, using something underneath the knees or in between the knees, a pillow, a blanket. Taking the right hand on top of your knees, and then let your gaze gently release over to the left. Encouraging your attention to be with your breath. Keep staying with your breath as we finish this side in another 30 seconds or so. In these last few breaths, what could you soften? What could you release? So much of our life is about doing, getting to the next thing. So much of our life is us holding space for work, holding space for our families, our friends, our continuous doing. Let's come back, inhale. So taking this time to do less, is always a nice practice. All right, feet to the ground. Pause here for a moment, feeling into your spine. And then roll to one side, pausing in fetal position. And slowly press yourself up. We're going to shift gears just to hands and knees. You can use that blanket you were just using for your head as sort of a padding for your knees as we come into tabletop. Knees will land right below the hips, wrists right below the shoulders, spreading fingers wide. And we'll just move our spine a little here. You can start with the side-to-side motion because it feels kind of good. Maybe as your hips move to the left, you look over your left shoulder. As your hips move to the right, look over your right shoulder. Back to the left, and then to the right. Coming back to center, inhale, pull the heart forward, finding a nice little cow posture, tailbone lifts, floor, pressing away, exhale, rounding in your spine, scoop the belly. Round, round, round. Inhale, pull your heart forward, tail lifts, belly's lifting gently. Exhale, round and scoop. Inhale. Exhale. One more time, inhaling. And then exhale, round, round, round all the way. Bring your big toes to touch, your knees to be wide, and shift your seat back towards your heels. We're going to stay in child's pose for a little while. So forearms come to the mat. I always love to do this first. I learned this from a teacher, and it's nice to really lengthen the spine by bringing forearms down, press down into your forearms, and from that motion, you're pressing your seat back. It might just be the littlest feeling, the littlest movement. But we're trying to bring the seat all the way back to the heels. By pressing into the forearms, we can use that leverage to lengthen the spine. And then from there, stretch your arms out. We're going to take this into a side lean to work a little bit of lateral movement, lateral extension, on a lateral stretch on your spine. So take your hands over to the left, reaching through your right fingertips, and we gently pull the right hip back. Good, and you can use that same sort of idea that we just did with the forearms to press the hand down, pushing back. Bend your left arm and use that as a little pillow for your forehead. So we'll be here for about 2 minutes. Really work that circular breath here, breathing down the spine and up the front body. This might work a little bit better as we're in child's pose. There's not a lot of space usually for expanding the front body because the legs are generally in the way. And so as you breathe out, releasing the air, there's more space in the front body. Noticing what you're experiencing or noticing or becoming aware of. Notice how the breath can be soothing and calming, not just on our mats in the yoga pose. And this is where we're learning. And we can take this off of our mats whenever we need to, just to come back to the breath, to that calming sense of breath, that easy in and out flow of breath. It brings a sense of ease to the nervous system. Last couple here. And then pick up your head, gently stretch the left arm out in front of you. Take yourself over through center and then now to the right, expanding through the left fingertips. Pull the left hip back. Use your right arm as a little pillow. And we're here again for about 2 minutes. Thinking about the length of your spine, your orbit breath, your body softening. And you might check in with the mind. Where is the mind? Where's your attention? Perhaps coming back to your intention and your breath. Good. Slowly lifting your head, extending the right arm, walking yourself through center. Hopefully your legs are still happy. We're going to come forward to hands and knees. You don't necessarily need anything underneath your body, so I'm going to remove my blanket for this next pose. You can keep it underneath your hips and belly if you wish. We're going to go down flat to the ground. Let's pause here for just a second. Feeling your whole body on the ground, your spine relaxing. And then as you are ready, we'll take this into Sphinx. I'm not going to be here for too long, but have a block nearby, maybe on the highest setting. You're going to bring your arms, your forearms to the ground, elbows, hands to the ground, and then we're going to be here for not too long. This is a pretty quick yin practice, so poses have been held for about 2 minutes. Same thing here, just a 2-minute hold in this back bend. Tops of the feet are to the ground, your belly and pelvis are flat. We're not shrugging up in the shoulders, we want to lift up out of the shoulders, pressing again into the forearms. Belly stays on the ground, the lower ribs stay on the ground. With your shoulders on the back, if it feels good, you can let your head rest on a block. We'll be here for a couple of breaths. Notice if the shoulders start to scrunch up to the ears, or if letting your head rest on the block is not actually feeling great on your neck. You can always keep your head lifted. Chin parallel to the floor, gaze straight out in front of your fingertips. What could you soften here without dumping into the shoulders? Keep checking in with your circular breath. And gently lift your head. Now slide that block off to the side and slide hands back by your ribs. Press up slowly through tabletop and just find your way back to your back. You can bring that blanket underneath your head one more time if you wish, or keep it for over your body. Maybe bringing your blocks nearby. As we come back down, hug the knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice little squeeze. And this time stretching out one leg and then the other leg. Letting your legs flop and relax. I like to use blocks for grounding. So if you have them available, you might try this today. Bringing your blocks into your hands and then the tops of your hands to the ground. And the blocks act as grounding, and as we head into a different season or big moments in our life, the transition can be really aggravating. So grounding is always nice in that. Just a little tip for you if you're feeling ungrounded. Bringing something over the hands or under the feet is supportive. We'll take a nice big breath in through the nose, sighing it out. And as many of those as you wish to take. As you let yourself let go and surrender to Shavasana, feeling the length of your spine, the ease in your breath. And the calm that the slowing down brings. I encourage you to stay a little longer if you can. And if you are ready to find your way back to your day, you can begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle toes. Wiggle fingers. Wake yourself up. And then take yourself into a fetal position once more, to either side. Pause before you come up. And slowly rise up to a seat. Let's bring our hands to the heart center again and bring to mind your intention that you began our practice with. Let's take another collective breath together, inhaling, sighing it out. Om Shanti. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful day.